Hey, good evening, and welcome to the Uptown Parlay Podcast. Now, your host, Ace.
What was
Are
the
you
most
gonna say?
shocking
Oh, okay. I
free
was like,
agency
we
signing?
waiting. He
No,
just
I'm
said
talking
free
very slowly.
free
What was the most
agency.
shocking free agency signing in the NFL so far?
Shocking?
You, if you've been paying attention.
I have been paying very close attention. I'm trying to think the most shocking signing.
That's right. Your team doesn't have a quarterback yet.
But I mean,
Well, actually,
shocking. I think the most shocking thing that
shocking.
happened wasn't the signing. It was probably the Geno Smith trade. I don't think any signings will be
You can
shocking
include that.
because we know who
You
the
can
free
include the
agents
trades
are,
too.
and why would we be shocked that they get signed to a team that's supposed to get signed? Maybe you
We
want
can
to say,
discuss the trades. Daniel
yeah,
Jones signing that contract was surprising to me.
got a 1 year deal to
Got
be
fifteen
to
million
challenge
dollars.
for 14 million 1 year 14 million to challenge for a starting job again on the team where they have a right now a bust of a starting quarterback in Anthony Richards. But I think the Geno Smith trade is the most surprising offseason move so far. Either that or Myles Garrett totally going back on his word and taking 40 million instead of pushing for that trade out of Cleveland.
That's
You
not
think
surprising at
Yeah,
all. That one isn't surprising
I
at
have a
all.
very real
that's not
question.
surprising?
No.
Do you think he
That's
actually
surprising.
wanted out?
No.
He
I have a
he
better
went on.
question.
He went everywhere and said, "I want to trade. I'm not. I
That
want to trade. I want to trade." And
Do you
then
think he actually wanted out, or do you think he just wanted more money?
I believe
I
what I mean. You have to believe what a man tells you when he tells you what he's saying. I
yep.
mean, what
Well,
what, what kind of world are we living in?
I
He's not a politician. The
I
man
think
said he wanted
he
out.
I don't think he I think he wanted out.
oh
Well,
no.
I think it was both. He wanted a new contract. We already knew he wanted a new contract because any team that would have traded for him would have had to negotiate with him with a new deal because he was on his last year of his current deal. I think that he wanted out until he saw the Max Crosby number. This is what I kept saying. The Max Crosby number comes out and it's 35
And he was like, oh,
point
I can get
whatever.
real money now. I can get NBA
And
money.
yeah, because before that there was an article that came out or a report that came out that he wasn't even taking calls from Cleveland. Like he wouldn't pick up their phone call. In terms of like just trying to have a conversation with him about it. And Cleveland was, holding fast that they were not going to trade him. And, I thought the further that got down the path of, you know, he doesn't want to play there and they're not going to pay him his money, like we were heading towards the holdout situation. And him not playing, not reporting to camp and all those things, which again I didn't believe he was going to do because I think he's more of a stand-up
Oh,
guy
I
than
thought he was
that.
going to hold out. He's made a
I
lot of
did
money.
too. I thought he was
I thought he
holding.
was gonna play. I thought he was gonna play, and it would just look really, really shitty on Cleveland to like not, you know, either not trade him or not pay him or whatever. But then the Crosby number comes out, and the conversation becomes, well, I mean, if y'all can pony up this, then we can have another conversation. And they drop 40 million on the table, and he goes, because that was the other thing, was right. Even if you read the article, you read like his
But
note,
isn't the
like he
total deal 120 guaranteed? Or
once
am I tripping?
I don't know if it's 120 guarantees, 160 total, 4 years. 80 actually, yeah, I know I had heard that it was 88 at signing. So he gets a check for $88 million
Off
when he
top.
signs off top.
Nice.
So, that's some
That's a lot of
ridiculous, like
taxes for parents.
earth-shattering money to get.
Yeah.
So, it's it's
Batmobile money right there.
it's pretty incredible. So I think yes. Did he want to leave Cleveland? Was he looking at, better situations elsewhere? Absolutely. But I think, he was also looking at a contract situation and frankly speaking, Cleveland came to him with a ridiculous amount of money that nobody else probably would have given him. And so he took it. Um,
Well,
Go ahead, move on.
um, I'm shocked at that because, like I said, man said he
So
wants
you
out.
think people are that transparent when they're negotiating in public?
I think I'm not naive. I know people don't always say what they mean, but
Hmm
what can you do other than take somebody at what they say? And he didn't say it was anything to do with money. He said he was tired of losing. He wanted out of Cleveland because it wasn't about just money. It wasn't about going from Cleveland to the Hall of Fame. It's about winning. This is what he said. This is why he wanted to leave. He went on countless shows saying that. He told it to anybody who would listen. He said it right before the Super Bowl. And then he turns around and he takes the money. So to me, that's
Yeah, but they
surprising.
offered him quarterback money.
I mean, regardless. I mean, he's the best defensive player in football, arguably, without a doubt.
Correct.
Max Crosby, no, he is. So I'm pretty sure Cleveland wants to keep him. All he had to do was say, okay, pay me. And they would have paid him whatever they needed to, because that's what they did. He didn't have to come out and, say that. I'm just wondering, was he doing that the whole time just to get a payday? Or did they somehow convince him? Either way, to me, that was the most shocking thing. More shocking than the Gino. Well, Malik, what was the most shocking thing then to you? If it wasn't that.
I actually agreed with you. I think it's the combination of Geno Smith gets traded to the Raiders and Seattle signs Sam Darnold to the 3 years, 100.5 million. I don't know. I mean, gun to my head, I don't know if I'm picking Sam Darnold over Geno Smith as a quarterback right now.
Aren't they the same player?
They're either the same player or Geno's better.
Geno's more accurate.
And
He's
so
done more with less. So I would say he's better.
So under the and Seattle trades DK Metcalf,
And Lockett retired.
cuts
So you don't
Tyler
even know who you're
Lockett
starting.
and signs MVS. Like these are the things where I'm saying to myself,
Wait,
okay, so
they
we're
signed
we're getting
MVS.
ready to pay Frank Walker a ton of money, right? Like
Marquez Valdez-Scantling is still in the league.
yes. He just got a 1 year deal from Seattle to be what their number 2 receiver behind
He won a Super Bowl
Jackson
2
Smith?
years
Jackson
ago,
Smith
just
and
catching
Jigba.
like
Like
3 passes a game or 1 pass a game for like 30 yards. He couldn't even do
what
that
is
most of the time.
so yeah, this is my thing. Like what Seattle, what are you
Why you
doing?
coming down
Like
here?
it's if you're trading
Oh, your
if
mom.
you're trading
She answered
Geno
you?
Smith,
Why you coming down here?
you're getting a
Mute
third
yourself.
round pick. This,
She wants to talk to you.
trading
That's why I said
Geno
call your
Smith
mom.
is is telling the world we're about to do a soft reboot, maybe even a hard reboot, but we're gonna
Soft.
either we're gonna try to move up in the first round of the draft and maybe draft one of these quarterbacks that's coming out, or
Where are they
we
drafting? Because it doesn't make any sense.
somewhere in the middle.
So they're drafting after Chicago, correct?
Yeah, I
So they
believe
don't
so.
even have a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
So they're going to take Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I think they had a better record than you guys. So like this,
Okay.
but that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
No, I think they did. They did. No, they
They
did.
still
They
no,
went
they
like
do. They definitely did. They went 9-8. They still got Kenneth Walker. So it's not
yeah.
all bad.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm saying like to me, trading Geno Smith is trading your starting quarterback who's making $30 million a year for you is a sign that you're saying we don't have the right pieces. We're gonna blow it up, and we're gonna go figure out our quarterback situation. And then you turn around and give that money, give 30 and a
The
half million
same
dollars
Darnold.
to Sam Darnold, and then you cut or
What happened first?
Geno Smith got traded first. Geno Smith got traded
Geno
right
Smith got traded,
before.
and then they signed Sam Darnold and
Okay,
guaranteed
I
him
just wanted to be sure.
50
Because
million out
well,
of
Sam Darnold
120
had a good
million
year, and
needed.
he's younger than Geno. Geno's 34.
Okay, is
Okay,
he good though?
Are we
but
gonna
he's
really sit here? If that Sam Darnold is the Sam Darnold, like Geno turned his career around because he was a bust before that. So let's say Sam Darnold is on track to do the same exact thing that Geno is. You just upgraded because you got younger and you got younger. So
what?
that was a
Okay,
good move.
But Levon, no, I'm
but
whether
you
it's a
also
good move or
traded
not.
away your best wide receiver.
What
He asked for a
is
trade. He asked out.
here's my question, Levon, because again, and all this stems back to money as well, right? But what does trading your I mean, is he a franchise quarterback there's an argument there. But your franchise quarterback, like he is the Seattle Seahawks franchise quarterback at that moment. What is the sign that you guys traded Daniel Jones? Like, what is or bench Daniel Jones? What does that tell you about your team and their feelings about their quarterback position, or like the feelings about the team when you get rid of your quarterback, your starting quarterback? 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time, this is a sign to the rest of the league that you're ready to go in a completely different direction and, almost effectively like blow up the squad. And then when you turn around and you give this money, you must truly believe that Sam Darnold is better than Geno Smith.
You banking on that? He's younger. He just had his Geno Smith moment that last year.
Look at the number, right? The number suggests that he is, but you're banking on him not just being better, but him being remarkably better.
I mean,
because on top of the fact that you've paid him, you've also gotten rid of a bunch of players that you probably would have needed to keep in order for him to be
when you
successful.
say got rid of, Lockett was at the end of his. DK wanted out, but I think Jackson Smith, DK didn't play. He wanted money, and he didn't play a ton, and he didn't get as many targets or lead the team in receptions last year. And you got to remember, this team still has the draft. They could have a whole plan in place where they're like, I'm not paying DK whatever Pittsburgh had to end up giving him when we got Jackson Smith and Jigba on the team. And the draft is coming up, and we might be in a position to, pick somebody, who, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they did anything outrageous. I was listening to you guys. I had to mute myself. I got muted by our host. But I mean, Geno Smith is 34. He's 34. He's an average to good quarterback. And they traded him away when he probably has about two more good years left. Got something for him, and then signed the best quarterback they could possibly sign in this free agency class. And if he is ascending, if he found, something that's turned his career around like Baker, like Geno did, that's a win for Seattle. They upgraded to me. I don't think that
I'm not saying it's not a win. You were asking me what's surprising, and I'm saying that was the shocking piece.
Oh.
You had a quarterback who, by all intents, top 20 quarterback in the NFL right now.
Geno,
top 20.
Okay, out of 32 teams.
Yeah, he's top 20. He's in the
Does
top
that
20.
that makes him an average?
But Sam Darnold isn't top 10. Sam Darnold
last year, Sam Darnold was. If Geno was top 20 last year, then Sam is top. We talking about right now.
I never believed Sam Darnold. Well, we can argue that. We can argue that with
right now.
I never believed Sam Darnold was top 10 in anything in the NFL.
I didn't say top 10. I
was
said
talking
top
about Sam Darnold all season as being fool's gold.
Well, that's your belief, but we're going off. He got paid off of last season. That's why he got paid. That's why Seattle paid him.
Yeah,
we're going off the assumption, like they are, we have to. You got to go off the assumption that what somebody did or what they can do for you. That's why they paid him. That's why he was the hottest quarterback. Everybody was looking at Sam Darnold. There was a few teams that wanted to get Sam Darnold. I'm pretty sure he chose to go to Seattle.
That's true. He chose them over the Giants.
Whatever, but I mean, you want to say Geno is top 20? I mean,
Geno, and statistically, Geno had a higher QBR than him for the entire season.
Well, Sam Darnold threw for more yards and more touchdowns, and quarterback is yards and touchdowns.
So NFL, I'm just going off NFL.com. NFL.com has Geno Smith as the 12th ranked quarterback in the NFL, and Sam Darnold is 13.
What is this ranking based on?
This is NFL's ranked the top 60 ranking all 59 starting quarterbacks from the 2024 NFL season.
Okay.
Everybody who started a game or more.
Every player who started a game during the course of the regular season.
That's great. NFL.com did that. Who were the quarterbacks ahead of them?
You want me to give
Josh
you
Allen.
top 10?
Yeah,
give me
Lamar,
13, 12,
so
Patrick Mahomes,
one is
Caleb
Lamar,
Williams.
2 is Josh Allen, 3 is Joe Burrow, 4 was Jared Goff, 5 was Jaden Daniels, 6 was Baker Mayfield, 7 was Patrick Mahomes. This is based off of the year.
Yeah, you know I'm going.
Based off of the season that they had.
You know,
8 was Matthew Stafford, 9 Jalen Hurts, 10 Jordan Love, 11 Justin Herbert, 12 Geno Smith, 13 Sam Darnold.
That sounds
So
fair. Who's right after Sam Darnold?
14 Brock Purdy, 15 CJ Stroud, 16 and then it goes down from there.
okay.
So again, this is like I said, this is based solely off of the
Last year.
2024 season that they had. And so if you're just basing it off of that, then yes, Leevon, signing Darnold, you've
Lateral
just
move.
like it's a
not
lateral
lateral.
move.
He's
It's a lateral move.
younger.
It's a lateral move in terms of player, but it might be a elevating move in the fact that he's 6 years younger than the guy that you had.
6 years younger. Yes.
And if in those 6 years, in the years between 27 and 34, he is as good as or better than Geno Smith, then it makes sense. But again, it's the combination of the two. Trading Geno Smith, which I'm also not necessarily against the idea that I think the Raiders really wanted Geno Smith. Pete
They
Carroll
needed
really
a
wanted
starting
Geno
quarterback,
Smith.
and they got a starting quarterback.
Yeah, I think Pete
Because
Carroll
they saw
really
what
wanted
life
Geno
was
Smith.
without one. And they were like, never.
And that's
again.
probably that's why I'm less shocked about Geno Smith getting traded, because I believe that the Raiders really wanted him. Pete Carroll really wanted him there.
And Ace, the Giants were never in on Sam Darnold. You like to throw shade every
No,
once in a while.
seriously, I heard
You
they
heard
were
wrong.
interested.
No, they weren't.
Okay.
No, they weren't.
So they didn't want a quarterback at all to challenge the rookie.
They didn't want Sam Darnold. They were not about to pay Sam Darnold anywhere near the kind of money that he was going to require. They weren't about to do that.
He's averaging $30 million a year. That's not even a lot.
But they were not in on Sam Darnold. They weren't. They were in on Matt Stafford. They went on Matt Stafford.
We knew that wasn't going to happen once he got the new contract.
They were not in on bringing in Sam Darnold. They weren't in on doing that. No, I'm dialed into my team, and I'm telling you, he was not an option for the New York Football Giants.
That's what Joe Schoen told you.
Well, Joe must have told somebody, because the somebodies he told, the quarterbacks the Giants were in on, his name was not among them. I mean, I'm pretty sure he did his due diligence. He called. He said, "Hey, how much?" And they said it, and he was like, "Okay." And moved on, but he's not one of the quarterbacks the Giants were looking at.
So any rumors they draft a QB then for the New York Giants?
Oh, well, that seems to be, what the rumor still is. We still don't have a quarterback. Didn't get Stafford. There's rumors about, we're going off top. We're talking about the most surprising things. Well, Ace, what is your most surprising thing? What is your most surprising offseason?
Justin Fields is going to be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets next season.
That surprised you.
Let me put it like this. Pittsburgh signed him. Then they signed Russell Wilson. He started the first, 5-6 games? He went 4-2. Then they benched him, brought back Russ because of the injury. Russ played well for the first couple of games. Didn't really play well after that. Went 1-4 in the last 5 games. Then they get trounced in the playoffs. And they said bye to both of them. Didn't want to bring back the younger guy who's 24 years old. And the Jets are getting him real cheap to be their starting quarterback, which kind of shocked me because they could have drafted him if they wanted him, and they took Zach Wilson. So the fact that they came back to this guy, knowing that they had to evaluate him when he was a rookie, and you're willing to give him this money as a free agent, that's more shocking to me than Sam Darnold getting signed, than him taking the $40 million, because everybody was out on my guy Justin Fields, who I thought was a good quarterback. Apparently, nobody else agreed with me. And now the Jets, people think they're desperate because they're taking a chance on a guy who nobody still thinks can throw, even though he was completing touchdown passes on Pittsburgh, and their offense is kind of trash.
So, he has an arm so he can throw. He's not a thrower.
They don't think he's very accurate.
He's not very accurate.
Malik, think about what you just said. He's not a thrower of the football, and he's not very accurate. And the New York Jets just made him their starting quarterback.
They didn't really have much of a... See, that's the thing. I don't think they had much of a choice here. The decision was...
They did have a choice. They could have always drafted somebody. They're bad.
Well, no.
Say, hey,
they could
Shador's
still,
our guy.
But Ace, they could still draft somebody. That's not to say.
I don't think he went there if he thought he was gonna sit behind a rookie.
No, what I'm saying is drafting at number 6, unless they had a legitimate way of getting up to the top 3 picks, they're not getting one of the top two guys. So they could still draft somebody in the second or third round and try to make a move. But the best quarterback, literally two of the three best quarterbacks that have been moved were Jets. Like they were not signing Sam Darnold. They were not bringing him back, and they weren't trading for Geno Smith. So like, what were their options?
Yes.
I am more shocked that they gave Justin Fields $20 million. Like to me,
is that not shocking to you? Is that not
shocking? That is shocking.
They've committed to him to being a starter.
Well,
it is shocking to me that they
he will
paid
be
that
their
man
starting
$20
quarterback
million.
next season.
I
You
know,
don't
I
believe
get
he
that.
can throw accurately.
Well, they had to pay him something. What did you think they were going to pay him?
I was thinking
he's going to be their starting quarterback, and I was like, wow.
I was thinking the Sam Darnold Vikings deal. 1 year, 10 million. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, and they gave him a 20 million. You're going to start next year,
right? Which is why I was shocked by the money.
Ryan Fitzmagic deal.
I was shocked by the money, not by the signing.
And he has real weapons
Jets
on
needed
that
a
team.
quarterback.
The Jets didn't have a ton of options about who they could bring in. Malik is right. They weren't bringing back Sam. They weren't trading for Geno.
They could have been more aggressive in going after Geno. They could have been more aggressive in going after other players.
They're not going after
everybody who was there when Geno was there is gone. It's a totally new GM.
Well, the fans are still there, sir. The fans.
Yes, exactly. but that was literally a decade ago. He was drafted so long ago. It was two GMs ago.
Fans would remember.
You could have brought back Geno. You can't bring back Sam Darnold.
Nah, that wouldn't go over.
I know that sounds crazy, but
you can't bring back.
I think Anthony.
That wouldn't go.
I think Ant was shocked. That even they signed Justin Fields.
I was shocked that Pittsburgh didn't make a run to Justin Fields. Like this is what I'm saying. I was shocked that Pittsburgh didn't decide, hey, Justin Fields is worth,
they have no quarterback on the roster.
Malik, that's crazy. They benched him for Russ.
Where did Kenny Pickett? Where did Kenny Pickett end up? Kenny Pickett just got traded, right?
Yeah, Pickett got traded to Cleveland.
Yeah.
So Cleveland now is a legitimate backup.
Why would you sign who's already in your building and he's not worthy of the starting job?
Because what I'm saying is because if your intention is to, move away from Russell Wilson, right? You're not going to sign him.
He's better than Justin Fields, though.
He is. He's a better quarterback than Justin Fields. What I'm saying is if your intention is to move off of Russell Wilson, then what are your other options outside of that? Here's what I'm saying. You have Justin Fields, who's in your building. You have Aaron Rodgers, who's clearly he's the number one guy on their list.
He's in your building, but he's not good enough to start for you. So bringing him back as your starter.
But this is what I'm saying is like I was surprised that they didn't bring him back, or at the very least trade him, or do something, or just just not make a deal at all, let him walk, and then draft somebody, like draft Jackson Dart. I don't know what the hell, he may not be better than Russell Wilson, but if you've decided that Russell Wilson is not going to be the quarterback for your team, then
better than no one.
What decision are you? Then Justin Fields is better than no one, and I think he's better than Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on a sec. Whoa,
you won with him.
Whoa.
You won with him. You did win with him.
Whoa. Okay,
won 4 out of 6 games.
Because I think so. That's what I'm saying, LeVon.
Won as many games as Aaron Rodgers did last year.
Hold on. You started with Justin Fields. He didn't even win the job. Russ was hurt. You started with him. You won with him. You had him in the building. He was healthy, and you gave the job to Russ. That speaks. That means that he's not good enough healthy to keep the job over Russell Wilson, who you're not even trying to keep. You're trying to upgrade from. So the guy you're trying to upgrade from, who is better than the guy you're saying they should have kept, how does that track?
It's what I'm saying is, well, it tracks because it's very similar to the conversation that we were just having about Geno Smith and Sam Darnold, right? I don't think the difference between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields is very drastic. I think yes.
Geno Smith was under contract. They had to trade.
No. What I'm just saying to you, when you're just comparing the two players,
I
don't think that the difference between
and also another shocking move that nobody mentioned.
And of course,
Kirk Cousins is still an Atlanta Falcon. That's also shocking to me. He's not going anywhere. They're
Well,
going to
no,
pay that man all of his money to
they
be the
got.
most expensive backup quarterback in the league, which
Did
is
you hear what I
kind of
said?
a big deal. I did not.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you or under you, but they haven't. Where'd he go? They have until March 17th, and March 17th he's doing $10 million roster bonus. If he gets to 17th and he's
It,
on that roster,
it
he's
has it has been reported that he's not moving. No team wants to trade for him.
okay.
Atlanta's not willing to trade him, at
Then
least not yet.
but I'm saying if they're going to do anything, they have until the 17th of March, which is 5 days away. Five.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They can
I
say
hear you.
right now. They can say anything they want, but then when that happens, they're definitely not moving him. They're not going to pay him $10 million and then turn around and trade or cut him. They're not going to do that.
I
So
hear you, but he's got a lot of guaranteed money, and I think they don't want to take the cap hit. So worst case scenario, he'll be there because Penix Jr. has a injury history. They didn't know he had a shoulder injury,
that's a lot to pay a backup quarterback, sir, and then wait for
and
your kid to get hurt on purpose. I don't.
fair. No, but like a lot of quarterbacks missed time last year. You know, Dak missed a lot of time. They paid him $60
I
million.
mean, I agree,
He
but
didn't play all the games.
and paying a guy over $10 million in case, that he'd be the highest paid backup quarterback in the history of the National Football League.
Yes, that would be odd, but he's gonna be on the team.
Very, very.
Unless you know something I don't know.
I mean, I don't. As they're hoping someone's dumb enough to trade for him. But I mean, the
You
only
think
way
he's
that
going
works,
back to Minnesota? I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, the Giants would probably like to have him, but they're not going to take that whole contract. Atlanta's going to have to eat some of it, a lot of it.
So then I guess he's going to be a Falcon until the Giants either get desperate or they decide to draft a QB,
Or they cut him. I don't know.
or he could end up being a Steeler.
I think
That's where Aaron Rodgers says he wants to go. So we'll see. I can't imagine Aaron Rodgers playing with Mike Tomlin. That seems insane, but hey, crazy things have happened.
Crazy things have happened. I think that's the best place for Aaron Rodgers, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
The best place for Aaron Rodgers is the couch.
I think it's Pittsburgh.
You sound like that dude from NFL Network.
I think the best place for Aaron Rodgers is retirement. He should just leave, walk away from the game. You've had a great career. It's okay. It's okay to just leave. It's okay to go. Or you Joe Flacco this shit. You don't play for anybody. You wait until sometime towards the end of the season. Maybe a quarterback gets hurt on a contender. You go, you join them, and you have maybe 4 or 5 glory games at the end of the year, get yourself into the playoffs. Everybody's talking about you. And then maybe you parlay that into a contract if you really want to play another season. I just don't see any value in signing Aaron Rodgers to a contract. And I was hearing today that like he's looking at playing for 2 more years and he wants like $40 million. That's freaking kidding me.
Wait,
like
40 a year or 40 for 2 years?
No, 40 a year.
That's crazy.
Does he have gambling debts we don't know about? Why does he need so much goddamn money? Didn't he just make $50 million for the past 2 years doing nothing?
That's the most shocking thing to me. That's the most shocking thing about NFL free agency is that there's this major conversation happening about Aaron Rodgers, like he's done something, like he did something last year, and
he didn't have a terrible year last year. Anthony was right about that. He really did.
How many games did he win?
He had a terrible year. He played 17 games. He did not play well.
Let me look
the vast majority of the season. He had 1 game in the entire year that he threw for over 300 yards.
Correct. And that was the first time in like 6 years.
Who
also threw for 300 yards last year?
I don't want to hear what Anthony has to say about, he got better as the season went along, came back from his ankle injury and Achilles.
Anthony was cursing that man every game from the middle of the season on. He was cursing that. He was
guys, stop. Aaron Rodgers last year threw for 3,897 yards with 28 touchdowns and 11 picks.
Okay, but again, those are statistics.
Those are better numbers than Justin Fields. And
they are.
I will look at Russell's stats.
You know who also had 3,800 yards last year? Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy played well, but y'all act like Aaron Rodgers is cooked. Those numbers don't say.
What was that?
What?
You know who also had 3,800 yards last year? Justin Herbert.
Oh my God.
Kyler Murray.
So
Aaron
how is
Bo
Rodgers.
that?
Nix.
I did
How
not
those
say
are
Aaron
all
Rodgers is cooked, Levon.
those
I did not say
all
Aaron
starting
Rodgers is
caliber
cooked. I said
quarterbacks.
Aaron Rodgers is not worth $40 million a year.
I agree with you, but you made
There's
it
a
seem like he should sit
conversation.
on the couch. That means
There's a
cooked.
legit because
Sit on the
there's a
couch means
legitimate
cooked, son.
conversation because there's a
You know what
legitimate
Jalen Hurts threw for
conversation.
last year?
Yeah,
2,900 and
yeah,
18
we
TDs.
understand what the Super Bowl winning
Because there's a
quarterback, Super
legitimate
Bowl MVP. We get it.
conversation.
We get it.
What I'm saying, Levon, is there's a legitimate conversation right now about whether or not Aaron Rodgers should play for a team in the NFL making $40 million a year
Malik,
based
I
off of
get that. 40
based
million,
off of what.
no.
So if the option is I'm paying you $40 million a year to be the starting quarterback for my team, or you sit your ass at home, sit your ass at home. Like
Malik,
that's what I'm saying.
Malik, does anybody
I agree with
getting
Malik.
paid in the NFL right now actually getting paid what they're worth or what the market dictates? Because you sit here and say 40 million, it's what the market dictates, so that's probably what he's going to get. I don't want to see the Giants pay him
I'd
that.
say Myles Garrett's getting
But
paid
the
what he's worth.
market
I would say
dictates
Saquon's
that
getting
because
paid
that
what
is
he's worth.
that's what the market dictates. A starting quarterback of his caliber, 3,800 yards and 28 touchdowns, is going to get.
No, that's not what the market dictates for
Oh my
3,800 yards.
You think he's going to throw
That's
for
not what the market
3,800 yards?
dictates for 3,800 yards, 28
Brock
touchdowns,
Purdy
11
is about to
interceptions,
get
and
50
5
million a
wins.
year,
Like
probably.
He
that's
went
not
to the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
that's not
Oh
what the
man, you
market
know what?
dictates for those numbers
It's my
and
head.
that
I can't,
horrible
man.
of a record.
I
Like
can't.
they were
Okay, back
horrible.
to your point.
What are you talking
How old
about?
is Bo
Records?
Nix?
It's free. They're not
Oh,
paying the
okay.
Jets
Wait,
franchise. They're paying the
Levon,
quarterback
not
Levon,
himself.
Brock Purdy's 25 years old. He's 25.
Yeah, he's about to
Aaron
get
Rodgers is
50.
40. Aaron Rodgers is
Yes.
41.
Look,
He's
is your
guys,
win-loss
41.
record
I
not
know
a
how
part
How
old
of
much
he
longer
is.
he
how
going to
well
do
you did in the
this?
season?
38. He was 100 plus yards away from 4,000 yards passing and 2 touchdowns away from 30 touchdowns.
He was born in
he
1983.
Oh, he was born. What did I do? The stats. Those are good stats. Pittsburgh would a lot of teams would kill for a quarterback who can put those numbers up, and he did it. So
You
yeah,
know what? I hope he
somebody's
goes to
probably
Pittsburgh.
going to pay him 40. I don't want the Giants to do it. I wouldn't do it. But I
I
mean,
hope he goes
yeah,
to Pittsburgh
his
then.
stats
He
and the
ruined
market
Mike
dictate
Tomlin's
that's what he gets.
unbroken
Malik
streak.
is like he should sit on the freaking couch. Like
He
those
should,
aren't
because I'm
couch
not paying him $40
numbers.
million, and I don't think anybody should.
Malik,
He
those are
won
I
not
don't think
5
couch
anyone
numbers.
games.
should. I
Malik,
don't
those
think
are not
anyone
couch
should.
numbers. Those
I
are
don't
not.
think Levon,
Let
I'm
me
not
look up
saying
Matt
he can't
Stafford's
play the
numbers
game of
last year.
football.
Where's Stafford's
Even
numbers?
the
I'm not
Cowboys
saying
won
he can't
7.
play the game of football. That's not what I'm saying.
Matthew Stafford.
I'm not saying he can't play the game of football. I'm not saying he can't put up numbers. Look, any quarterback worth his
Play in the
that
UFL.
still has an
Malik.
arm in the NFL. Any quarterback that still has an arm in the NFL can play the game
Matt
of
Stafford
football.
just got extended with the Rams, and he threw for less yards and less touchdowns than Aaron Rodgers did last year.
His
And
team got to the playoffs, and he was the reason why.
If he got traded, was probably
He threw
going
for
to get
4,200
40,
yards. He
40
threw for
million
4,200. He didn't throw for less yards.
What are you looking at? 2024? What are you looking at?
I'm looking at his 24 numbers.
3,762 yards.
Oh,
What are you
that's
looking?
regular season. You're talking about regular season. Actually, but you got to count
Yes,
his
because
playoff
Aaron
numbers
Rodgers
too,
didn't
because
make
he
the
went to the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Aaron Rodgers didn't
Aaron
make the
Rodgers
playoffs.
didn't
So
go
yes,
to the
I'm talking about
playoffs
regular
because
season.
he was bad in a bad. He played.
He was on
poorly.
a bad team, but we're talking about the quarterback himself.
He
Him
was
and
part
his
of that
stats.
bad team.
And
He was a
he
reason
was
for
a
that
reason
bad
why they
team.
were bad, Levon.
Oh my
He was
god.
a reason why they were bad. He
Oh
like
my
the numbers.
god.
The number.
Y'all like to twist these arguments to
I'm not
fit
twisting
your
anything.
logic.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers was the reason the Jets were terrible this year. It was just
I
him.
said
He
a
was
reason. I said
he
He
was
was on a
part of
bad
it.
team. So
He
of
was
course
He was
a
part of the
reason. He
equation.
made
He
mistakes.
was
He threw
not
11
good.
picks. He contributed. I get that. That's obvious. But he still had a good season. You can't tell me
He
those
did
are not
not
good
have a
numbers.
good
I got a
season.
weird question then.
Those
Wait,
are not
as you
okay.
just said,
Gotcha.
Levon, if he's so good, why don't you want him to be the Giants quarterback next
Because
year
I don't
or
want
for
the
the next
Giants to
2
pay him
years?
$40 million. I
So
don't want
you're
the Giants to
arguing
pay him
against
$40 million.
yourself.
Huh?
So you're arguing against yourself with your own team.
I don't want the Giants to pay him $40 million. That doesn't mean that I don't know.
Clearly
You just not
you
letting me
don't
answer.
think he's that good.
You're not letting me answer. Aaron Rodgers is good. I don't want my team to pay him $40 million because I don't want them to do it. But is he worth that? Looking at the stats, knowing who he is, yes, he's going to get it. He's going to get it.
So you don't wait.
I don't think JC Horn should be the highest paid defensive back in the league, but he is.
Well,
Isn't
So
he?
you don't want your team. Wait, you don't want your team to pay him
because it's his
40
turn
million,
and the
but you
market
think he's a good
dictates
quarterback.
that's what he gets. But he's
Would he
not
help
better
the
than
Giants
Patrick
win next
Surtain.
year?
He shouldn't be getting that
Would he-
money. He's not even close.
would
He can't stay healthy.
Would he help the Giants win?
You're not. I mean, I'm making all the sense
No.
possible I can make, and
The
we're
point
still.
is no. The point is about you're talking about money. I'm talking about whether or not he helped your team win.
Aaron
Do you think
Rodgers
he would
could
help the
help the
Giants
Giants
win?
win more games than they won. Yes, they might win more than 4 games.
So
You're correct.
that's not worth 40. So that's not worth 40 million.
In my opinion, no, I do not want to pay him 40 million for an extra 3 or
So if
4
you paid him
wins.
30, so if you paid him 30 million, would it make it worth it?
We getting closer. Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're cheap. So you're saying you're cheap. Is
If
what
you
you're
think
saying.
30 million is cheap, okay. I
For
don't have that.
for a
Okay, I'm
quarterback
not
that can.
John Mara.
Well, you
It's
don't
not
own
my
the
money.
Giants.
I'm just saying on the grand scale, yes, I say 40
Considering
million. No, I'm not giving
considering
Aaron
the
40
highest
million
paid
for 2
quarterback
years.
makes 60, he wants 40. I don't know.
Yeah, Dak makes 60. If Aaron is talking about 40, and I just heard this from Malik today. So I don't know.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
Malik heard that today. If that is to me for 2 years, that's crazy work. No, thank you. If he's like
You just gave that
25,
to Daniel Jones.
25, 30, I'd be like maybe for
Oh my
almost
God.
4,000 yards passing and possibly 25 to 30 touchdowns. Why not? While
This
Cam
is
Ward or
bananas.
Shador or Jackson Dart gets ready to take over, why not? But for 40,
Y'all
no.
not
I don't
getting
even think
Cam
the
Ward.
Giants
Cam
have
Ward's going
40
to be a
million to
Tennessee
spend
Titan.
on this guy. I don't even think we have 40 million to spend on him. I don't know.
Y'all should have all the salary cap space.
They did sign quite a few free agents. I don't know how much they have left, sir.
All
But
right.
According to
But I mean,
Malik.
y'all just like, I don't know. Do I just have an
to-
arguable voice or face that I just, no matter how much sense I make,
what you're telling me is he's worth 40 million, but you don't want him to put on your team because you don't want your team to pay 40 million.
You're taking the worth and
which
you're
doesn't
having
make
like,
any
that's
sense.
my opinion. I'm saying he's worth this. I'm telling you what I know about football and how players get paid. Looking at his stats,
That's bananas.
yes, somebody's going to pay him 40 million to do that. Somebody's going to do it.
Somebody's going to
pay
do
that man his age.
Somebody's going to do it.
Somebody's going to do it because he deserves it based on his statistics and what he put up last year. He deserves that money. If that's what the market dictates, the market dictates.
I'm saying it's not based on the statistics.
How you
I'm
figure
gonna find
it's
a
not
prop
based? He
bet.
almost
I'm gonna go
2
bet that
touchdowns
prop
away
bet
from
that he
30
does not make
touchdowns
that money.
and less than 200 yards from 4,000 yards.
Effectively,
How is that not a good season? Is what
it's not a good season. Effectively, Aaron,
That's
it's not a
crazy.
good season. It's not a good season because the team he didn't play well. The team went 5-12.
Okay,
Like
you know what I'm gonna do?
Like
Let me look up Joe Burrow.
But
Levon. Look up Joe Burrow. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Joe Burrow had
Look
his
him up.
team. I'll
Knock
look up
yourself
Joe Burrow
out.
in a second. Joe Burrow.
No,
Joe
I'll do
Burrow,
it. You talk. Make your point. Okay, I got Joe Burrow. Make your point. He didn't make the
look up
playoffs
Joe
either.
Burrow.
They didn't make the playoffs either.
Joe Burrow had a but whoa. What was Joe what do you rank or what do you base a quarterback's success on? What do you
okay, I'll answer that. But first, you're trying to tell me because the Jets didn't make the playoffs.
I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm
Year
asking you a question. I'm not telling you anything. I'm asking you a question.
Okay.
What is quarterback success, the success of a quarterback in today's NFL? What do you base it on?
Okay, but let me ask my question first because I want to make sure.
Answer a question with a question. This is how this.
No, I want to make sure I'm clear because you want to say, no, that's not a good year. They didn't make the playoffs. He contributed to them not making the playoffs. Okay, Cincinnati didn't make the playoffs. Joe Burrow's on that team. According to your logic, Joe Burrow contributed to them having a bad year, not making the playoffs. Joe Burrow's stats: 4,900 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. But according to you, that's bad because his team was bad and they didn't make the playoffs.
Answer
that's
my
all
question.
I gotta say.
Why? Wait. Now here.
That is correct. That is a bad year. Apparently, he needed 100 more yards and 3 more touchdowns, and then maybe
I am really happy, Leevon. I am really happy that you went there with it. And I'm so happy. I am so happy because Anthony just joined the show, and I'm gonna.
I heard him enjoy it. He's listening to this.
I am so happy because Anthony just joined the show, and I'm going to ask Anthony as the Jet fan who watched every Jet game throughout the entire season. But I want you to answer my question first before we go there. Answer my question, please.
What's up?
What do you consider in terms of when you were saying a good quarterback season? What are not what are the statistics? What constitutes a good quarterback season for you?
It's a very broad question.
Answer
So
it
can
as
I give
broadly
it
as
a
you
broad
possibly can.
answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Keep it under 10 minutes.
Go ahead.
I will not, and again, a team sport, I'm not going to penalize when we're talking about individual player statistics or what they earn when it comes to free agency money-wise or accolades like awards and MVPs. I'm not going to factor in team success because you can have an individual player be exceptional even though his team is not good. So a good quarterback season to me in 2025 would be yardage wise over.
I don't want the numbers. I don't want the numbers.
You don't want the numbers. So what do you want me to? How do you want me to
Just
classify?
broad. Just broad. Like I said, as if you're prioritizing things, or you're prioritizing
Okay, you have to have
statistics,
double.
personal number one. Yeah, right. Go ahead.
I mean, I got to use numbers. How else do we rate players if
No.
not with numbers and stats?
Prioritization of like wins. You know, how many wins do you contribute? How many
Well,
wins do you
that's
contribute to the
another
team?
thing. I do not think wins should be a quarterback stat.
So
Listen, I
statistically,
do not believe
their
wins should be a
stats.
quarterback stat.
So
I
their
do not.
stats drive whether or not they are having a good year. That's the primary driver for you.
I don't know how else you judge individual players, not teams, but players other than their statistics. That is how they are judged. How else do you do it?
I completely disagree when you're talking about the
Yes.
player who we've always said is
Oh,
the
boy.
most important player on the entire team.
Yeah.
And we've always said you don't win in today's NFL.
Oh, boy.
You don't win at a high level in the NFL without a quarterback playing at a high level. You don't win.
Yeah, but it's not Malik.
The
You
quarterback
playing word games again. That's not mutually exclusive. You don't win unless you have that, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing you need to win. Or
I
if you
didn't
have
say
that,
that.
you're gonna win guaranteed.
I
You
didn't
can have
say
a
either one
quarterback
of
play
those
at a high
things.
level and
I did
still
not say
lose.
either one of those things. I said what I said is you don't win at a high level
No,
without a
of course.
quarterback playing at a high level.
But what does that have to do with a quarterback having a good year? It's not mutually exclusive. It doesn't mean a quarterback.
But wait. But because it's not mutually exclusive to you because wins are not a quarterback stat for you. So win-loss record is not a quarterback stat for you. That's why it's not mutually exclusive for you.
Malik.
It is mutually exclusive. Well, it is mutually exclusive for me. So when you ask me the question about Joe Burrow, I say to you, Joe Burrow statistically had a fantastic year, but he did not have a good season because his team didn't win, and
That's
he is the
crazy
leader of
work.
his team.
That's
He is
crazy
the
work.
of his
But go
team.
ahead.
His team did not win, therefore he did not have a great season, and he
Malik,
would probably tell you
wow.
that himself. He
Oh my
probably would
God.
tell you that he left some games on the
Oh
field.
my
He
God.
left some points on the field.
Okay.
He lost. If you watch all of those games, you watch as many of those games as you watch, he lost a lot of games in late game situations where it was him throwing the bad interception, where it was him
He
making
threw
the
9
bad.
of them. So
What?
yeah.
What was it? Where it was him throwing a bad interception in a bad situation, where him
9.
making a bad play, him not driving the ball down the field, him not making a play, and not being able to pick up the defense on the other side, which didn't play well. Like, I'm not saying that he didn't have a great statistical year. He did.
But he didn't have a good year.
But he didn't have a great year because they didn't win.
The team didn't have a good
Malik.
Malik,
And at the end of the day, if he is the
obviously.
leader of the team, and the team doesn't do well, it projects negatively on the player.
Oh boy.
Aaron Rodgers statistically,
I don't disagree with that.
is the same
In
quarterback.
philosophy, I don't.
Aaron Rodgers statistically is the same quarterback in 2024 as he was in 2022. In 2022, on the Green Bay Packers, his last year in Green Bay, he threw for 3,695 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He was 65% completion rate. In 2024 with the New York Jets, he was 38.97, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 64.
So let me get this
So
straight.
he was effectively the same quarterback.
Malik,
Can I inject something here?
Hold on, and before you go,
and before and let me finish. Let me
I
just
just want
finish
Malik
my
to answer
point.
this real quick.
Let me finish my point.
Go ahead, finish your point.
So, and before the 4 seasons before that, or the 2 seasons before that, when he's an MVP caliber player, the numbers 42.99, 48 touchdowns, how many picks? 5 picks. The next year, 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, 4 picks, team record 13-3. These are his MVP years right before those last 2 years that I ran down. He is now not that quarterback anymore. He is basically been the same quarterback, which if you statistically, he's around the middle of the pack in terms of his numbers. He's around the middle of the pack from his numbers perspective, and his team isn't winning anymore. His teams don't win. So if that's your narrative of the player, then then to me, if that player is now asking for $40 to $45 million in contract negotiations, I'm telling him, hey, I'm glad that you believe that about yourself, but I don't. And so if it's 45 or 0, we're going with 0. And that's where I'm going to where I'm going. Anthony, please.
Last question before Ant goes, real quick. And I want to I'm going to make this yes or no.
Wrap
So
it
you're
up.
telling me you cannot have a good season as a player and be on a bad team?
I didn't say that. I
Yeah.
said you can have a good
A lot of
statistical
Bears have
season.
done it, and a lot of Jets have done it.
Based on everything you said, and I want to cut it so Anthony can go, so I'm not going to say it. But based on everything you just said, you said you can't have a good season on a bad team. Because basically, that's what you just said.
You can put up good stats on a bad team. You can put up good
stats
on a bad
whole
team.
career.
You have good
stats,
not a good season. But it's not a good season. Good stats, not a good season.
No.
Gotcha.
It's not. It's not a good season. You don't win. It's not a good season.
Got it. All right. Okay. Ant, man, welcome.
Hey, yeah, what's up? You guys sound like a bunch of U.S. politicians. Well, especially Leevon. He asked you a simple question, and Ace said, keep it on the 10 minutes. And all of a sudden, the question went off all around the extra stuff and everything like that. It's like I was watching C-SPAN. I'm like, what the hell is the fucking question?
That's what the people want. That's what the people listen to. It. That's what people want to hear when we jump on this. When we jump on here, they want to hear me and Leevon yell.
My answer to the whole question is, I agree. I believe it. I believe I align more with Malik on this thing here. I'm a little bit grasping what this is, but a little bit towards the football side. If you're not winning, basically that's part of the whole thing right there. It's a failed season if you're not winning the regular season and the playoffs. That's how I judge basically the quarterback itself. I hope I'm getting this right. I don't know. I'm just like,
yeah, you're on.
I should have been there in the beginning, but.
I think that the main question, and we can just give you the main question here was, my belief is that what we're hearing is from reporters that Mike Florio from the NFL Network and Yahoo Sports is reporting that the speculation is that Aaron Rodgers is looking for 2 years at around $40 to $45 million per year.
Yeah, fuck that. He don't deserve that shit.
Yeah, I said, who does he owe money to? Is what I said.
He's supposed to be one of the quarterbacks because he doesn't spend no money. He's supposed to be working for his damn team that he was giving money.
It's easy for us to say he doesn't deserve it because of who he is and how old and our opinions. But name all of the quarterbacks with identical statistics and what they are making or are going to make. Because Ace is going to say fucking Brock Purdy. Name the quarterbacks with identical stats and what they are getting.
I'm going to name Tampa Bay's quarterback who's making $35 million a year.
Okay, 35.
You could just get
who had better numbers.
What's the
won a playoff game?
What's that dude's name that was on the Titans? Whatever. That's also the M. That dude as the backup.
Oh, Malik.
No, not Malik Neighbors. I'm talking about
not Neighbors. He's the backup.
Will Levis.
Will Levis.
Starts with an M. I forgot that dude's name. He was all hype and stuff like that before. But anyway, who cares? You get a damn quarterback for less, and they put up the same exact statistic numbers. You got to win the games, man. You got to win the games. You got to get to the playoffs. And they've been saying it all throughout the whole day. Aaron Rodgers can't do it anymore, and I agree. He doesn't deserve the money. He shouldn't even be getting on the team.
Rodgers can't really run.
That's what he's supposed to be doing right now.
I mean, the winning thing, I agree. I mean, I'm not Cam Newton. I totally agree with what you guys are talking about. But I think you can have a good season and be a good player and have a good season, even though your team doesn't win.
Last year, but he sucked. He sucked.
Obviously not, because if he sucked,
That's the only
If he,
reason why.
you know,
Well, that's the only reason why he wants those 2 years. Because those 2 years now, because he
guys, look,
knows daggone well that his season last year, no matter what the
guys.
statistics says, he ain't get to the playoffs.
At the end of the day, look, at the end of the day, we're not even the pros who are making these decisions. And the people making these decisions, are they talking about Jameis Winston? Jameis Winston's sitting out there. No one's talking about famous
No.
Jameis.
You know, because the thing is that he's going to be picked up after
But no one is
draft.
talking about Jameis.
No.
They're talking about Aaron
The
Rodgers.
thing is that they're going to pick him up after the draft when the teams, everything gets settled in. Right now, they just talk about Aaron Rodgers because he's Aaron Rodgers. That's the only real reason.
That's why? Not because he almost threw for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
No, nobody gives a
You know who did
He
throw for
can't play.
4,000 yards last year?
That's what
Geno
started
Smith.
this. Malik said he needs to sit on the couch, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I said if
that's
the,
a flaming hot right there.
Leevon, see, this is what I'm talking about. Don't conflate my words.
That's what you said.
It's coming C-SPAN again.
I specifically said, if the options are pay Aaron Rodgers $40 million a year, or he sits his ass on the couch, then he sits his ass on the couch. If Aaron Rodgers is willing to pay, if Aaron Rodgers is willing to play football for a team for $10 million, sign him up. Sign him up. That's fine.
And plus, the thing is that the Jets are still paying him.
I'm looking him in the face and I'm telling him, get the hell out of my house. Get out of my office.
The Jets still owe money.
Crap. Malik, you need to go somewhere. He just threw 3,828 touchdowns.
I'm not
please go over your.
I'm not
Who's
paying
getting
him
$10 million.
I'd like y'all to clear out so Ant could go over his mock draft real quick.
I'm not gonna go the whole thing. I'm just gonna show y'all a little bit. Maybe go to the top 10, and then bounce around a little bit, whatever. As far as for everything, just so I could do a rundown because I don't know how long y'all was on here. It sounds like it's a long time because y'all started swinging chairs and stuff at each other. It looks like, but anyway, I've got the usual Cam Ward in the beginning. I'll do a Carter as a second. I had the Giants taking Will Campbell. Yeah, that's the shocker. I don't know how this Aaron Rodgers thing is going to show up so far, but I got Will Campbell instead because the Giants actually need an offensive line to keep getting built up. I got the Patriots taking Travis Hunter, Mason Graham going to the Jaguars. I don't know how to pronounce this wide receiver's name, McMillan, Terrell. I'm going to have him going towards the Raiders, and the only reason is because I think they need that offensive weapon. They need to replace Adams from last year. I have the Jets taking Ahmad Melbro instead, even though I want Tyler Warren, but I believe that the Jets want to build up that offensive line and run that RPO type of thing with Justin Fields. I got Mike Green going to the Panthers, Will Johnson going to the Saints, and I have the Bears rounding it off, taking Ashon Jeffrey on this thing here. As far as for other shockers, I got to show Dewar Sanders falling to the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, that's going to be quite a real fun time over there with players arguing and stuff like that because they want to get back, quite support Dak Prescott, but having Shedeur Sanders there, that's going to start something right there. What else I had? I'm going to jump around a little bit further. I have the Lions taking Grace Zebel. And I have the Bills taking Shavon Revo. I don't know. Anyway, I did post it in group chat and stuff like that. And I also had the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Jackson Dart, having them sit no matter which old man that these guys are arguing. Of course, y'all guys, listeners at home was listening to even Aaron Rodgers, or if y'all was listening to Wilson earlier. But anyway, I just want to do a fast rundown because I don't know how long it was before I kind of rolled in there. Yeah, like I said, I did send in a private group chat. So if y'all guys do have any arguments with anybody I actually picked, this is just a 1.0 version. I finally got all 32 out of there.
Oh, and quick question: what was the most shocking move so far in the NFL free agency, including trades and signings?
Well, to me, the shocking one was the Geno Smith thing because I didn't expect that to actually happen. I
agree.
Before the whole thing even started, it was just like Geno Smith getting traded. I was like, what the hell? They getting into the quarterback market. I didn't know that the Sam Darnold thing was going to even be open for them. I thought Sam Darnold was just going to go straight to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would have been the smartest move, even after the trade, to go to the Steelers because they had the best team.
So Justin Fields being a Jet didn't shock you?
No, not really. We was actually talking about that. We was actually talking about way before that. The Jets fans and stuff like that was talking about that way before that.
Okay.
They was going after Justin Fields.
I was genuinely shocked.
Yeah, because
They
you
had a
had
chance to draft him.
follow Jets Twitter, of course. So I don't, I understand.
Well, no, they had a chance to draft him, and they said no. And now they're
No,
coming back 5 years
no.
later.
See, that's one thing that I kind
They're
of hate
signing.
when people do that and stuff like that. Yes, Jets organization had a chance, but the thing is that it still was Salah and it was still Joe Douglas that passed on him. And I don't know. In my opinion, I wanted to keep Sam Darnold in the beginning. I believe I said this on this thing before, and
Yes,
of
you
course
did.
I was also I actually liked it Justin Fields before the draft started. And of course, I had to turn, of course, and just join the rest of the Jets fans when they kept on pumping up Zach Wilson, even though at first I didn't really like this shit. But I wound up going along with it because, everybody's going with the wave. You have to just settle down and stuff like that. But even you can protest to this, Ace, that throughout the whole time that Justin Fields was on the Bears, I kept on saying how good he was. And I actually wish that he was, because the thing is that secretly I was pissed off that y'all guys had him, and and y'all guys was fucking his career over.
Well,
But anyway, I'm
we
glad
didn't
he
have
got
no offensive line.
right. He had no offensive line, and what they expected to do, he was running around because he had no offensive line, and they all blaming it on him. I'm like, what the hell? And as soon as you get the number one pick, and he almost had his whole team together, instead of just maybe using that pick, for Nango some more more picks to get maybe an offensive lineman and more stuff like that for Justin Fields, you just say, F it, get what's the name? But I'm not gonna even argue on that. But when we talked about this a couple of times before doing that draft, and I remember Malik saying you get the better quarterback and stuff like that. So whatever on that one. But I'm a little happy that we got Justin Fields. Hopefully, as far as everything is concerned, that that he had 1 year under Tomlin, under their actual coaching staff, and actually got got the yips out of him. Hopefully the Jets actually keep that offensive line and get a little bit better, or whatever, and don't he have to go through all that yips and stuff like that he went through with Chicago. But anyway, like I said, I posted in our private group chat. If y'all guys had anything that I said or that is there that sounds kind of off, I see Malik smiling about it. Shit, I don't, I'll take the critique. Like I said, I'm just tossing these things out because the thing is that the free agency is still not over, and I know it's kind of funny that as far as for Shadur Sanders, I've been hearing these things about him falling. I think it's kind of stupid, in my opinion. I think he should be he should be one of the top picks. And when I saw him last week or the week before doing the combine, whatever, when he showed up, and everybody's talking about his all that BS about him and stuff like that. I'm over here like, oh snap, this is like Deion Sanders being a quarterback because I've never seen his face itself. And I was like, yeah, he looked just like Deion. The same smile, everything. I was like, somebody better draft this dude, man, because he's gonna prove everybody wrong. And I could actually see this happening, him falling all the way down here. It doesn't have to be the Dallas Cowboys, it can be anybody else, pick him up, and he's gonna prove everybody looking stupid and stuff like that, like Lamar Jackson been doing for years. When the Ravens picked him up at 31, and he's way better than what Josh Rosen is. But anyway, I'll let y'all go. I'm not Leevon.
I appreciate that. Thank you for your conciseness. I don't see Ashton GT going to the Bears because they still have DeAndre Swift and he has a guaranteed contract. But aside from that, everything else seems fine.
The reason why I put that there is because the thing is that
Malik's laughing.
These
man.
They want weapons, man. They keep on piling. Jets have Breece Hall, and they still got a damn running back last year.
I think he may actually go as a top 5 or top 6 pick. People believe in that kid.
So. Yeah. I won't put it past it that part will happen. As far as him getting past the Bears, the hell no.
I don't even think we need an offensive lineman. So
no, you don't.
That offensive tackle is getting drafted.
Did you see your free agency? Y'all don't.
They didn't draft the tackle. They didn't sign a tackle. They signed the center. They signed 2 guards. They didn't sign 1 tackle. So they're like the middle of the line.
I think they'll go with that. The tackles that they have, or they might get one later on.
Top 10 pick, you take one if there's one there. But I don't know who else they would draft. Maybe Tyler Warren. I could see them drafting a good tight end. Because the other guys are getting a little long in the tooth, even though they're still pretty good. They would like to replace their tight ends. So I wouldn't be shocked if Cole Kmet is out the door.
Malik looking very animated over here. I can't see LeVon's face because he's blacked out for us.
If Kelvin Banks Jr. is a Chicago Bear, I won't be shocked at all. We've been on here for about 2 hours. I had 2 games for us to pick. Malik, what did you want to say about the draft?
I laughed about the comment about DeAndre Swift. You guys know how I feel about DeAndre Swift.
You don't think he's very good?
He's not. He's not. He's just not. That's just reality of the situation. But anyway, if you have the chance to draft Ashton Genty, quarterback's best friend is a running game that is a dynamic running game. I still think I want to see Ashton Genty run and go through all of his drills and his pro day. He didn't run. He didn't run at the combine. I didn't watch a lot of Boise State football. I know he had an incredible season there. They went to the bowl game. He did really
Did you
well.
watch the playoff game?
Yes. No, I did watch the playoff game, and
Yeah.
they didn't they shut them down?
He had 180 yards.
Well, right, that's what I'm saying. Didn't they shut him down towards
I
the end of that
mean,
game?
Yes, he didn't get 200. Yes, he did
But
do what he usually does.
But what I'm saying,
He
no,
had
what I'm saying is
180
if
and
you
two
have the
TDs.
chance, if you have the chance to get Ashton Genty, the Bears should definitely not pass that up. But I was laughing because I love Will Campbell, LSU offensive tackle. I think he's a guard at the NFL level. Most people are saying he's a guard at the NFL level. I don't think he has the feet or the hands to stand up at the offensive tackle level. So seeing him go 3 to the Giants, I honestly, when Travis Hunter is available, when frankly speaking, even either one of the quarterbacks, either Shador or or a trade down option is available. I just was like, man,
Mason Graham. I think
No,
the Giants would take Mason Graham before they take Will Campbell.
I think so too. I think so too.
That is there, like I said, is quite just the first start on it, and also I have a feeling that just like with the Jets last year, that the Giants owner is going to be taking over in certain situations. The only reason is that because the thing is that these two guys, they're the Giants GM and what's the name, coach. They basically lame duck coaches and GMs right now. So I don't know if they will get a chance for a quarterback, but they should be getting.
Will Campbell could be an all pro level guard in the NFL. I definitely would believe that all with my heart of hearts. I don't think he's a number 3 overall pick.
And like I said, and I might when I redo this again and stuff like that, because like I said, this is just the first round of it. We're quite.
And if you're going off as a tackle, I just found it hilarious that the Jets picked up Armand Membu, not for nothing, was like the standout offensive lineman in the entire combine,
But he's the right tackle.
and has been the standout tackle throughout the entire process.
So you say I'm giving the Jets bias?
And I was just like, yeah, sure, because if a team needs a tackle, they're gonna pick Will Campbell, even though he's really a guard, and not Armand Membu, because we're gonna hold him, and the Jets gonna get him because they really need that guy. I thought that was hilarious. The thing I'm upset about, I love Gray Zabel. I love Gray Zabel to the Lions. I think that's a great pick. I don't, especially since Kevin Zeitler just left. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to refill that position. And to me, that's a great pick. I wish Mike Green, fell further in the draft and made his way all the way to the back end of the draft, and we could pick up Mike Green. I think the Lions have not addressed the edge. Maybe they will do it via trade.
The ball, he'll fall back down.
Yeah, I think the Lions would probably be best served to address that pass rushing position.
Yeah. There's a lot of edge players in this draft. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going in the first round. I would hope that we take one of them. So that was just my thing. But again, I was really laughing. The Shador Sanders one, I laughed. I laughed out loud when you said Shador, because that would be such a Dallas Cowboys thing to do. It would be the most Dallas Cowboys thing.
That's what I thought when I picked that. I was like,
and I was just like, please let them do that. Please. Because, the world would be like, what the, that would be, that would be them doubling down on Atlanta's Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins situation from last year. That's doubling down on that.
It'll make perfect sense.
How many more years left does Dak have?
He just signed like a 4-year extension. He's making like $60 million a year.
So he's got 3 more years left.
No. This year is the first year of the extension.
Oh, that's terrible.
But the thing is, they can easily get rid
That's
of
not
him.
happening, man.
They can
I
easily
mean
get rid of him.
that as soon as Dallas,
This is Dallas Cowboys. This is Jerry Jones.
my
This
God.
is Deion Sanders showing up and having a powwow with Jerry Jones way before everything else is happening. So I wouldn't be surprised this actually happens. This would be like a second son to Jerry Jones type of BS.
I
You
don't
never
know.
Crazy work.
really embraced Dak Prescott. I can see some dumb shit like this happening.
The
I
Dallas
love it.
Cowboys already lost a ton of free agents. They don't need a quarterback. If they spent their
I
first
know
round pick
that.
on a quarterback, that would just invite the circus to town.
Would love it. Do you know how much I'd love it?
I think they're going to draft
Well,
Omarion Hampton, who's a running back out of UNC, but that's just my opinion.
I mean,
Hey,
they could use a runner.
Cowboys, and you love all the damn stupid attention and whatever. Would you draft a running back that you get in the second round, or you would draft Deion Sanders' blood that looks just like him when he comes out there smiling?
They're going to hope he's there. Listen, they're not going to take Deion's son. It doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't.
It really doesn't. I don't see Shador going past the 10th pick. I don't see Chicago's not going to draft him, but teams in front of Chicago need quarterbacks.
I can see Dallas Cowboys even moving up to get him.
Him.
If he gets past 3, he's
Maybe.
going to drop for a while.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's going to drop for a while if he gets past the Giants at 3. He's going to drop for a while because now the Raiders
Giants
don't
are
need
expected
him.
to take Travis Hunter. So,
which I know I don't think the Giants take Travis Hunter. I mean, I thought they would until free agency, but they just signed Adebo from the Saints, and they
maybe he
brought
plays
back
receiver for y'all.
And they brought back Darius Slayton. So if you draft Travis Hunter, yeah, you got to pay attention.
Yeah, you got.
So if you draft Travis Hunter, why do you pay Darius Slayton?
The star that is Darius Slayton. That's true.
The great
one. Doesn't matter. You paid him 3. Once again, you guys seem to just, I don't know. The money matters. Like it matters. 3 years, $36 million to have.
Doesn't the cap is fake?
The 4th.
If it mattered so much, they wouldn't have gave Daniel Jones 40.
And then you always go to this because
then trade him in the middle.
Yeah,
get away from
he's
the
Colts
star. We paid Daniel Jones because, like I've been saying, it's about who's next and what the market dictates. Market dictated. Daniel Jones get that money. Not going to rehash this. But you don't draft Travis Hunter. Well, maybe they do. I don't see why they would. You sign a cornerback, you sign a receiver, so you fill those holes in free agency. Neither one of those guys you signed is going to be a backup.
Who's the opposite corner?
Our 2023 first-round pick, Deonte Banks.
Is he any good?
Our 2023 first-round pick, Malik.
That's not what I didn't ask you where he was drafted.
He's pretty good.
I didn't ask you where he was drafted. I asked you if he was any good.
But he's on his rookie contract. He had one good year. He had one down year.
We're on the Senate floor.
Not going to bench.
Thank you.
They're not going to bench their 2023 first-round pick for their 2025 first-round pick. They're not going to do it. They're not the Chicago Bears, so they're not going to do
it. I'm curious about what Armand does over there. You know, coming over from New Orleans. I watched him in New Orleans, and he had flashes. So I want to see what he does if he's going to line up on the outside.
He's an outside corner, 6'1", 192. He's an outside guy, press guy. They signed him, and they got Deonte Banks, who's similar, 2023 first-round pick.
Yeah,
and
so I think you could. I think theoretically you could draft Travis, and you could draft Travis Hunter and like throw him on the inside, right, and have him be your nickel.
So you draft a slot corner at 3 overall now. That's
the receiver. You know, he would be a primary receiver, but like we talked about last week in terms of like the ability.
Yeah, but that goes to Ace said the same thing. He's not going to start over Malik Neighbors. No. And you signed Slayton to $36 million. And you got Wandell, who is your slot corner, another second-round pick in 2022 on his rookie deal. I just don't see how you bring in, at 3 overall, you bring somebody in to be a backup or make any of those guys backups. So I think the Giants pretty much told everybody that they're out on Travis Hunter with those deals
unless you don't think he's better than any one of those guys. If he's not the best player on the board at the time, and he's and you have a glaring position of need, and you go ahead and you pick Armand Membu or an offensive lineman or something like that because you really really need that,
That
or
would make more
or you
sense.
pick. I mean, yeah, again, it's a glaring need, and he's not the best player on the board. That's why the whole thought is
Yeah.
if he's there, you draft Travis Hunter and you figure it out. But and I get it.
I mean, it's like if you draft them, you got to take somebody off the field because they all can't play at the same time. That's what I'm saying. And it's the third overall pick. It's value. You could pick Abdul Carter if he's there. You could pick Mason Graham, and those are players who are going to be on the field at the same time rather than picking, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Then
you got
it's
to
more likely to take Abdul Carter because Travis Hunter could actually go to Cleveland. If
Exactly.
that's the sense.
I think it would be
Uh,
better to take Carter or
are there no high draft picks on the offensive line for the Giants that they'd have to move off of to
Campbell, like
draft
Malik
that
said,
tackle?
Campbell's a guard because his arms are short and
No, I'm
he
not
doesn't
talking
move
about
very well.
Campbell. I'm talking about Membu, the guy that would play tackle.
I don't know at 3. I don't know if any offensive lineman is. It's we had this discussion. The third overall pick is the
Okay.
third overall pick. You're not going to draft somebody you could get at 10 or 11 at 3. You try to trade down. That's value. You try to trade down. So you can't predict
If you don't find a
trades.
trade partner, you just take either best available or like somebody that really checks the box at a position of extreme need.
Which is true, but that's how you draft Kyle
Okay.
Pitts. That's how you draft Kyle Pitts, and you end up regretting it. You see what I'm saying?
Well, because you didn't have a choice, right?
Exactly. Like if you don't have a choice, you draft best player available, even though you don't need him, and you should probably be drafting lower. That's how you end up with like Kyle Pitts or
and
Trayvon Walker's
Kyle Pitts' quarterback is Desmond Ritter.
yeah.
Kyle Pitts is, he's only as good as
So that's why I'm like, any offensive lineman at 3, you hope to trade down. The Giants are probably hoping for Carter to be sitting there at that position, or Cam Ward, not one of Ward or Carter is what they're hoping for.
Yeah, that's not happening unless the Giants got to trade up.
That's what they're hoping for. I mean, if the Titans take Cam Ward, they should. But then after that, I mean, I'm not saying Cleveland. They just signed Garrett. They could go Hunter, and then Carter sitting there for the Giants. I think Hunter makes more sense in Cleveland.
You absolutely have to draft Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that makes the most sense. Of energy, and youthfulness, energy. Like you need that in the worst way in Cleveland. You need.
I think he's.
Kenny Pickett doesn't count.
Huh?
Kenny Pickett doesn't count as energy.
No.
What is Jameis? That's crazy. How come Jameis hasn't been picked up by anybody?
Because he's a part of the second tier of free agency. They're going to wait until after the draft.
That is crazy.
Racism.
What do you say?
That's the goal for everything, right? Racism. I mean, daggone well, he's going to be a great announcer when he retires or whatever.
But I mean, when Jameis threw them 5 touchdown passes, everybody was like, "Oh, is Cleveland going to franchise him? Is he going to do that?"
Like 4 picks the next day. Like
I know. I wouldn't mind Jameis as a bridge though for my team. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind that.
Wait a
bridge
second.
To what though?
What?
You would have to have the
Jameis Winston's the bridge, but not Rodgers. Are you serious?
Jameis Winston isn't going to cost $40 million.
You're just cheap. You are just cheap. This is what it is. You're cheap.
No,
you're a cheap GM.
Me and Malik,
running the team, you're a cheap GM.
You
I get
agree that Rodgers, we don't think Rodgers is worth that. What you guys don't seem to understand is that how the system works, he's going to get it because his statistics.
If he doesn't get it, then what? If he doesn't get it, then what?
If Aaron Rodgers is asking for that money, Pittsburgh or New York are going to give it to him. You don't just pay DK Metcalf. What did DK get? 150? And then
150 and he got like 90 guaranteed.
Yeah,
what if either team says you could play here for 2 years for $30 million? Take it or leave it.
You just got the cart before the horse, basically, and now you're not going to pay Aaron Rodgers what he's asking you. They're just waiting for Aaron to tell them where he wants to go right at this point. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, he's going to be with the Vikings.
DK Metcalf 35, and now you're going to pay Aaron Rodgers 45. You're going to
think about that.
That is
$80 million to 2 players.
Insanity.
But neither one of them
are the Malik. OC who likes to run the ball and
what if you give
running.
DK that money and who's throwing him the football next year?
Look, I agree. Leevon, what I'm laughing is that that's like paying $100,000 on a Honda. Like it's not it's like the
Nah,
car.
you're wilding now.
It's not like is DK Metcalf where's DK
1989 Honda.
Metcalf rank
Oh, we talking
in
about DK Metcalf. Well, I don't
yeah,
know,
I'm
Oh, I
but
think
saying
it's
that's
I'm
Rodgers.
saying I'm saying
it's his turn.
if you're paying $80 million, I'm trying to think of the quarterback wide receiver tandems in the NFL that are worth $80 million between the two players and
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
right. So like Joe Burrow,
Yeah.
and so therefore to
And
me,
Jalen Hurts, AJ
each
Brown,
each one of them has to be to
Yeah, I
me
would
like
say that too.
top
Tyreek and
five in their
Tyreek and
respective
No. Why are you in love with Tua Tagovailoa?
no, that's the money. The money they're getting is 80 million combined. Tyreek and Tua make 80 million.
Oh, well, that's a classic
Yeah.
example. Tua's not worth that money.
no.
Tua's not worth that,
He's
but he
not.
got
This
it.
is that's what I'm
That's
saying.
different, though.
What I'm saying is
How is
what
that
I'm saying
different?
is like
He's
that
younger.
is like
I
He has
mean,
two
crazy work.
fully
Yeah,
healed
like,
Achilles, and he's under the age of 50.
okay, and Tua is younger, but who's a better quarterback? Tua or Aaron Rodgers? Today.
We already know.
Today.
Everybody knows that answer is going to be Aaron Rodgers.
All
But
right,
still,
then. Well, but still
Tua is
what?
younger.
But in
hold on,
still
hold on,
of
hold on,
words.
hold on.
But
Two
still
is
what?
if two. Wait, hold on. Two
Oh,
is
ain't no hold
healthy.
up. Oh,
No,
no.
no.
Hold
I'm
on.
asking
Go
the
ahead with the
question.
flaming hot. Go ahead.
You're both saying Tua is 100% healthy, no injuries. Like
Still
the
not as
the
good as Aaron Rodgers. You're crazy.
today.
You're crazy. You're crazy. In a game today, if my quarterback is 12 versus Tua,
The only
who you
reason I
taking
have Aaron
in a
Rodgers
must-win game?
over advantage is because of the mental side that
No way.
he
You need to
has
stop
over
that.
Tua.
Don't disrespect
The
that man like
experience
that.
over Tua. That's the only reason I have him over Tua as far as being better.
Tua can play, but Aaron Rodgers is a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer, and he still has some juice. It's not like he's Green Bay, 2009, 2010, but he still got some juice. Tua?
As far as for me is concerned, I give him a little edge over Tua. That's the only reason because
a little.
As far as today, I'm not disrespecting him because I'm just talking about his age. It's like you trying to say that Jordan's going to come back in the NBA and dominate
If
everybody.
Aaron Rodgers
92,
today
how
had
old
Tyreek
Jordan is.
Hill and Jalen Waddle on his team,
dude, he had Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson is not Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle.
Devontae Adams last year.
I hate to Devontae Adams. Yeah,
he might not be them as far as speeds or whatever like that, but the thing is that they still was top level for wide receivers, and
we can get into that all day. I would take Aaron Rodgers over Tua today. I really would.
As far as is concerned, like I said, I have Aaron Rodgers a little bit over Tua, and the only reason is because of the mental part. It's not because he's all world beater and stuff like that. Now he's not the Aaron Rodgers
The
from
Jets
Green Bay.
lost Aaron. The Jets. That's the team name, not the Aaron
How many
Rodgers.
touchdowns did
Aaron
Tua?
Rodgers is.
How many touchdowns did Tua throw?
It looks like we're still going back, even though you were trying to make
How many
fun
touchdowns
of
did Tua throw?
It seems like you're going back.
We're talking about the players.
No.
We're comparing
How
the
many
players.
touchdowns?
Go back to the same. Is the same topic that y'all guys was talking about when I first got
How
on.
many touchdowns?
Play
How many
call.
touchdowns did he throw?
Defense is getting the ball. We're talking about teams versus Aaron Rodgers, the player. The player.
How many touchdowns did he throw?
In a year? Let me see. For the year?
No, in that game
in a year.
against the Dolphins.
We're talking about the game. Talking about one game. I'm talking about the player.
How many touchdowns did he throw?
Speaking of Miami, whatever. That's
how many touchdowns did he throw?
Move.
Tua threw
Zach Wilson
2,800 yards last year.
That's gonna be kind of fun if Coy Tua gets a little hurt.
In how many games?
And
how many games?
Let me see how many games did he play.
Be quiet.
He played 11 games.
11 games.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Everybody.
He didn't play a full season.
But the one game they played against the Jets, yes, he's so better than Aaron Rodgers. You're absolutely right.
He outplayed him in that game.
I'd rather have Tua Tagovailoa on my team than Aaron Rodgers.
You beat him to submission.
Thank you.
You'd rather have Aaron Rodgers than Tua.
No. He said what he said. He said what he said.
He knows I'm being sarcastic.
It's on record.
Let it stay on record.
He knows what he said.
Anywho,
time the Jets beat the Dolphins was when Tyler Huntley played.
It's a team thing. This team. There's nothing to do.
He couldn't outplay him as a quarterback.
We're comparing players, but there's factors involved. There's offensive line, there's the defense, there's special teams. They're teams.
You know who's better too is Zach Wilson.
Wow.
His teams. Y'all
Wow.
just, I mean, Aaron
That
Rodgers
sounds like
almost threw for 4,000
that
yards
sounds
and
like a lot of
30
that sounds like a lot of
touchdowns
excuses. That sounds like a lot of excuses.
at 40 years old on a
Oh,
bad team.
do you get
On a
extra credit for
bad
being
team.
older, or do you get the same credit for being?
I mean, I give him credit for doing that on a bad football team. You
All
know,
right,
Aaron Rodgers needs
Zach
we're
to be
gonna
on.
move
Wilson.
on,
Aaron
and
Zach
Rodgers
we're
needs
gonna
to be
Wilson
on
couldn't do that
CBS
on a
right
bad
now.
football team.
Calling games like Tom Brady.
Wait a minute.
exactly.
Okay, and
We're moving
how
on, and we're
many
picking
how
two
many Jet
games for the
quarterbacks
NBA.
had the kind of season that Aaron just had for y'all on those bad Jet teams? How many quarterbacks had 28 touchdowns and 3,800 yards on those
Ryan
bad Jet teams?
Fitzpatrick was the last one.
I can name one. I can name one.
Name him.
Vinny
Who?
Testaverde.
Oh, jeez. How many
He
years
did
ago
do
was
that
that?
though.
That's
You
the.
didn't
I
ask.
didn't want to go.
You didn't give me a time limit.
I didn't want to go
I
that
mean,
far back. That's
okay,
I
Vinny
said
Testaverde. Who else? Did Zach Wilson do
Fitzpatrick.
it? Gino?
They
I'm
had bad
forgetting people.
teams.
Yeah, exactly. They were quarterbacks, though. Malik just said that Geno Smith was the 12th, 11th best quarterback in football. So when he was on the Jets, did he throw for 3,800 yards and 28
Well,
touchdowns?
he was not the Geno Smith that he is now though.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't disagree. You're absolutely right. I'm just trying to
As far as free agency is concerned, he was
I'm
kept on
just
marking
trying to
as
put
the
some
most
respect
accurate
on the
quarterback.
man's name because y'all said there, just
Well,
I
there's
don't
no
know why.
disrespect to Aaron Rodgers. Is that he should be retired right now, and I know
Obviously
that.
not. He threw for 3,800 yards and 28 touchdowns. Obviously
Brett
not.
Favre could do that.
You
Brett Favre
sound
could
like
pull off
Malik now. He
his
should
old
be
crusty ass.
retired.
Malik's
Brett
going to
Favre could
sleep.
come in.
He's also tired of this.
Brett Favre could dust
Oh
off
my
his
God.
old dusty racist ass
Oh
and
man, that's
that shit.
crazy.
But anyway,
Oh,
let
Ant.
me.
Yeah, go ahead.
And just
Anyway,
came
Wrap
back
it
too.
up.
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to Zach Wilson because you guys kept on muffling it all. I was trying to make it as a joke, but anyway, shout out to Zach Wilson. You know, for sneaking back into AFC East. You know, for some reason, I think Tua is going to have a game or two off, and one of those games is going to be against the Jets at MetLife, and Zach Wilson's going to come in and tear it up. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to Aaron Rodgers. He's still mulling over the which team he's going to go with. It's not about the money to him. I'm reading this thing right now, so he's either going to pick out of the Steelers or the Giants. Is come down to those two. You know, he did okay, quite great things with the Jets as far as quite coming over and quite making those guys happy and stuff like that. And I don't know, whatever. But anyway, I was happy for the 2 years that he was here. No, I wasn't. I was happy before he came in. So shout outs to him on that one. I don't remember any other shout outs I wanted to do. Yeah. No more shout outs. Oh yeah, shout outs to Aaron Glenn for getting Justin Fields, one of my favorite quarterbacks of that draft. Shout out to Justin Fields for actually coming here. I saw that picture with him in Dubai, just having a good old time and stuff like that before the free agency started. And I was hoping that he would show up with the Jets, and he did. So shout out to them. I'm not giving no credit to Darren Muji right now, the Jets GM, because that guy looks kind of lost in my opinion. So the jury's still out on my opinion on that guy. But anyway, that's my shout outs for the week. And I just, wake and bake, thought about these things. I had nothing planned.
Right. Thank you for that. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to the Knicks for playing a close game with the Portland Trailblazers on the West Coast tour. Clearly, they were partying after the win the other day, which is why they looked so dreadful against the Trailblazers. Shout out to the Washington Wizards. I'm sorry, no, the Washington Bullets, since we're going by old school names for only the DC teams. Shout out to the Washington Bullets, who decided to start trying to win games at the end of the season because apparently they don't want Cooper Flag on their team, so they want to lower their odds to get him the first overall pick. Shout out to whoever made Touch of Gold, that and was it that the documentary about the Olympics in Paris and the basketball games out there. That was amazing. Actually gained a little bit of respect for Nicholas Batum, who seemed like a maniac yelling at everybody in French. And for KD talking about, continuity, that's what y'all need. Is continuity going to help y'all when y'all guarding staff? That was pretty cool. I really appreciated that. And it made me relive all those moments and just the US just beating the brakes off of in France in Paris, just like that. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, shout out to my Bears for finally getting some offensive linemen and spending some money. And shout out to Khalil Mack for securing the bag once again. And and the best defensive player in the league finally getting some real money. You know, these everybody needs to get paid besides the quarterback. And shout out to Saquon for getting his bag again. Ron, what you got? Oh, and R.I.P. Gene Hackman, and R.I.P. out to who's that woman who passed away? Good Lord, I can't feel bad right now.
Gene Hackman.
Forget him about. No, it was a woman. Angie Stone. R.I.P. to Angie Stone.
Angie Stone, yeah. Shout out Knicks. It's that time of year. All of us Knicks fans, and we want to see our team win. So shout out Knicks. Get well soon, Jalen. Shout out NFL free agency. It was an interesting week. It always is. It helps to make our mundane existences go by a little quicker. Our 9 to 5s, a little less dreary and boring while we track what pro athletes doing, what I guess we all wish we could be doing, which is counting and looking forward to the bag for playing a children's game for a living. Kind of sad we didn't get to discuss the LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith debacle that transpired.
I thought that would have been the first thing I talked about.
Oh, there's no line on that. That's why.
I don't know what Aaron just said, but my shout out is always interrupted. It's commonplace now. I think Stephen A. Smith, I'm not going to call him out his name, but I didn't have much respect for him before, and I definitely don't now. And how he just folded and wilted when he should have doubled down because he was right. We all know Bronny James should not be logging any kind of NBA minutes. He should have never been drafted. Only reason he's drafted in the league is because of who his father is, which is what it is. But then when his dad has to come out and try to shield his son and protect his son from the same type of criticism and analytics or whatever you want to call it that every professional athlete is subject to in today's day and age was disgusting to see and to even have listen to people talk about and try to justify. So every player, good, bad, and different, is subject to the talking heads and people like us in podcasts who get to judge them based on what they do on the field, on the court, on the ice, in the ring. And for LeBron James to have the nerve and the ego to approach a journalist, whatever Stephen A. calls himself, and tell him to stop reporting, talking about his son is disgusting. It's disgusting. And someone probably needs to say it's disgusting and call him out on it. LeBron James, all the good he does, I don't know that man personally, but he's not been the best for basketball. He's not been the best. The league takes on the identity of his best players. It's what it does. And basketball is down. Viewership is down. All-Star game's trash. And the league takes on the identity of his best player. And that is what he is. And since he's been in the league, it has gone down. It has gone down since the glory days that we all knew and grew up reveling in. And while we're such adamant fans today, it is not the same. And this debacle is a microcosm of today's NBA athlete. Let's just keep it at that right now. But yeah. So that's not really a shout out, but I had to address it because we didn't get a chance to really talk about it, or maybe I didn't get a chance to talk about it. But yeah.
Dang, are we mourning now? The hell, are we mourning? Like a solid pause. Like,
I just wasn't sure if Leevon was done, so I didn't get a chance to start.
I can keep going now. You know I can keep going. I mean, unless no, go ahead, Malik. Go ahead.
It's NFL offseason, so shout out to all the teams out there that did not draft well, don't have great rosters, and thus have to spend money and draft picks and trades on players outside of their respective locker rooms because the players in your locker rooms are not good enough to get the money that you have doled out to them. And then speaking specifically about two teams, the darlings of the NBA the NFL free agency season. Speaking about the New England Patriots and the Chicago Bears. Shout out to you guys. Your teams were trash, so you spent a lot of money and a bunch of draft picks to go, improve them. Now let's see what happens. Let's see what happens to your respective teams and see where you guys land from there. Shout out to JJ Redick. If you guys did not hear his comments about his team's play after that game in Brooklyn, where he pretty much went on national TV on this press conference and ripped the squad apart. You don't typically hear coaches do that, and it was refreshing to hear a head coach actually dig in and talk about how poorly his team played and how they were absolutely outclassed in a game against a team that they absolutely should have beaten, because even without LeBron James, they should be much better than the Brooklyn Nets, whose starting five I cannot name. Shout out to Big East basketball is back. If you guys don't know, St. John's looks like St. John's is going to be in the tournament, like legitimately in the tournament this time around. St. John's, Providence, Butler, all those teams in the Big East tournament. There were some really good games in the Big East tournament this time around. Definitely enjoyed it. So shout out to that. College basketball is getting ready to round out. We're going to have the field of 64 coming really soon. This has been a very interesting college basketball season. UNC beating Duke last week was actually really interesting. Did not expect that to happen, and it did. So that was definitely a lot of fun. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers. I didn't realize this, but this is the first time in his entire NFL career that he's been an official free agent. He has never been a free agent before in his entire NFL career. So shout out to him for being a free agent and getting the opportunity to actually negotiate his own contract, without being under team control. And shout out to Myles Garrett for completely hoodwinking, bamboozling, or
Robin,
whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call what you did to the Cleveland Browns, getting them to give you $40 million over the next 4 years, and a check for $88 million at signing is absolutely ridiculous, crazy work. And even though you're probably only going to win 5 games next season, who cares? Because your car is going to be flying into the stadium. So you're going to have you're going to be the first NFL player with a flying car in the stadium. That's
you think the
pretty much what's
Browns
gonna
have
happen.
been quite smart enough to learn from Deshaun Watson? But anyway,
Yeah, exactly. No, of course not. Of course not. And then last but not least, I know Ace was giving out a couple of RIPs. RIP to Oliver Miller, former NBA player. The Big O passed away at age 54 yesterday.
oh damn,
Shout out
I
to
ain't heard
him.
that one.
And respect and prayers for his family and loved ones. All right, I'm done. Are we out, Ace?
Without like Aaron Rodgers' career, yeah,
Shedeur Sanders to the Dallas Cowboys with
make
the
it
12th
happen,
pick
make
in
it
the
happen.
NFL draft.
Mm.
Shedeur Sanders to the Dallas Cowboys. I can't wait. Let's see it. Let's see it, guys. Let's see it. Jerry, don't let me down.
I think Aaron is asleep. Is Oliver Miller a role player?